In the headlines, returning Dominicans to conform to travel protocols at the Douglas Charles and Canefield airports. Alternative air carriers expected to fill the gap left by Liat. And 500 derelict vehicles targeted in national cleanup campaign. I am Andrea Louis with the Channel 5 News. Back with the details after this.
Avec Flow, gagnez l'argent, on partit l'argent avec Flow. Gagnez l'argent, on gros sac l'argent. C'est juste ça pour gagner un gros sac l'argent avec Flow. And mettez on top up, sign up, quittez yo, et venez joindre Flow. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
Are you still washing your hands regularly, wearing your mask in public, and practicing social distancing? 0 cases does not mean COVID-free. Stay home if you're not well to keep others from getting sick. Continue to avoid crowds in public spaces. Always keep your guard up. We're still fighting this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Thank you for staying with us. First up, government is banking on a number of alternative air carriers to serve the traveling public in absence of Caribbean airline Liat. The Minister for Tourism and International Transport says a number of air carriers who are already familiar with the Dominica market are expected to fill in the gap left by Liat. Prior to COVID-19, Dominica was served by Liat, Win Air, A&T, Silver Airways, and Inter-Caribbean Airways. Air Sunshine and Coastal Air also provided charter service.
We have been in contact with these airlines during the COVID pandemic, and now that we are reopening, we anticipate that they will come back to service Dominica. The timelines will differ for each as there are a number of factors at play. For instance, islands from which they are domiciled are not open to visitors yet. So it makes it difficult for the airlines to operate cost effectively. Demand for services is another critical factor that the airline need to consider. We are looking to establish a schedule for Dominica that allows travelers convenience. This we anticipate will be finalized soon. Silver has established a schedule of traveling on Thursday and Saturday, departing San Juan at 10:50 a.m., arriving in Dominica at 12:35 p.m., departing at 1:05 p.m. to arrive in San Juan at 2:50 p.m. We ask travelers to Dominica to continue to monitor the websites of the airlines for schedules to Dominica and any travel advisories, as well as to monitor the discoverdominica.com website.
Protocols are being implemented to ensure the health and safety of all passengers.
My ministry continues to work with all other ministries and stakeholders, including the DHTA, to implement the protocols to allow travelers to enjoy their stay in Dominica. Protocols for the accommodation sector are finalized and being implemented by the Environmental Health Department and the Quality Assurance Unit of DDA. These protocols have health and safety as their primary focus. Similarly, eating out and enjoying the wholesome cuisine that Dominica has to offer is a key part of the Dominica experience. Protocols for restaurants and food and beverage at hotels have also been put in place.
The ferry terminal is expected to reopen on the 7th of August. In more top stories, returning and resident Dominicans can expect to go through certain procedures upon arrival at the Douglas Charles and the Canefield airports for the foreseeable future. The Minister for Health outlines these mandatory protocols which will apply to all travelers.
When you get to our shores, whether it's through, well, at the moment, we're going to open through the Douglas Charles and the Kenfield Airport. When you get off the plane, you should be wearing a mask at all times. This is the first protocol that must be observed by all travelers. You must be wearing a mask at all times. Secondly, you get to the automated sanitizing station. It's touchless, it's sensor, and you use to sanitize your hands. Thirdly, you get to the next station where a health assessment is being done, and that includes taking your temperature. At this point, your temperature can either be 99.8 and below or 99.8 and above. If it is 99.8 and below, then you proceed to the next station where we'll do the authentication of your PCR results, as well as the confirmation of your approval notice, because you would have gotten approval from filling out your questionnaire online. So by the time you get in, we know whether you're approved or you're partially approved. So we know exactly what's happening. And thirdly, we check your ID, which would be your travel document, most probably your passport. So at this point, authentication of your PCR result, confirmation of your approval notice, and confirmation of your ID. That most probably be your passport.
Travelers whose temperatures are below 99.8 degrees will be moved to the primary screening site where a rapid test will be done.
At this site also, issuance of alert cards. These are the cards that gives you the signs and symptoms of COVID. And your temperature is also on this particular card. So when you get to the primary screening site, the rapid test is done, the issuance of alert cards, which gives you the signs and symptoms of COVID, as well as your temperature, which is recorded on that particular card. If your rapid results are negative, then you can proceed to the next station, which is the immigration. And at immigration, all the different measures have been placed as regards to the screens to avoid the close contact and to maintain the physical distancing. And when you're cleared from immigration, then you proceed to customs. At customs, all the other public health and social measures will be adhered to. And when you're finally cleared from customs, you can leave via our taxi association, which has been certified, and they've all been trained to carry our travelers from the airport.
Another development, over 500 derelict vehicles to be removed from the country's landscape by year-end. Julian Morris has that story.
This is the focus of the latest derelict vehicle cleanup campaign of the Ministry of the Environment, being led by the Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation. General Manager Florian Mitchell says new equipment, a crane truck and a flatbed truck have been acquired by the corporation to help with derelict vehicle removal.
It is our expectation as at 31st December 2020 would be able to remove over 500 derelict vehicles within the island. To date, we have collected in excess of 106 vehicles. So it means that we should be able to surpass our expectation. We want to appeal to the general public that you should work with the state in ensuring that those unwanted or those abandoned vehicles are removed from the environment along the streetways. You may have an abandoned vehicle in your yard. I mean, just remove it. It poses a challenge for both human health and the environment. And we are soliciting your support in keeping our nature island clean.
The corporation is taking a modified approach in collecting derelict vehicles in the out districts.
And on Saturdays, we try to do something different. As you're aware, we have rural areas, and to traverse back and forth with derelict vehicles from a particular location to the landfill, in terms of the distance, might be long. So you might not be able to carry or haul a large amount of vehicle using two equipment. It depends on your distance. So on Saturdays, we basically tweak and do what you call a Coup-de-Main day, wherein we call on the local populace, owners, truck drivers, owners, equipment, heavy equipment operators to work with us, make their vehicles available, flatbed truck, dumper, haul a vehicle or two from your community. And last week Saturday, we did the first such activity in the Daly City area.
Mitchell urged the public to contact the corporation to help in the removal of derelict vehicles across the country. Dominicans were reminded that vehicles being removed under this project will be done free of charge.
I think what the public should do is take advantage of the opportunity that has presented itself. It means that most likely your vehicle is going to be removed at the state's cost or the state expense. So that is why we say, I mean, you'd have probably paid or have to pay a private person to remove the vehicle. What we have done, we have made consent forms available. You come to our office, you go to your local council office or your environmental officer, your litter warden in your community, and they would make a form available to you. You fill in the necessary, and then the Soil Management Authority would remove it at a set date and time.
Derelict vehicles are brought to the Fonkole Sanitary Landfill, stripped of tires and debris, and subsequently baled and exported.
A meeting of Liat's creditors is set for 31st July. We again join Julian Morris with more.
That meeting will discuss the winding up of the company. There have also been reports that Gaston Brown, the Antiguan Prime Minister, did not have the meeting he requested to make a final presentation on Liat's future. Meantime, Vincentian carrier One Caribbean Limited will be establishing its base in Barbados, starting with at least 4 daily flights. The Barbados Tourism Minister has assured hoteliers that despite the current dismal situation following the liquidation of cash-strapped carrier Liat, the outlook was optimistic. The Jamaican Observer says the Tourism Minister disclosed that other airlines have expressed an interest in filling the void left behind by Liat. The Barbados Tourism Minister is also reported as saying it will take some time until whatever airline or combination of airlines come into fruition and into operation before they can resume to that level of traffic provided by Liat. One Caribbean is reportedly making substantial strides in order to advance its operations in the southern part of the Caribbean.
You are watching the Channel 5 News. Stay tuned for more after the break.
With Flow, when I bag our money, cash out. Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From Flow.
Yo, check this. Flow is giving away $30,000 in cash.
Oh, yeah.
2 bags of money plus $1,000 every Friday.
With Flow is better every day, and now we're making Fridays great. That's 3 ways that you can play. So listen up.
Top up.
$10 more.
Sign up.
Just switch to Flow.
Get a plan.
1 gig or more. If you wanna win cash galore.
With Flow.
When I bag our money,
Cash out.
Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From Flow.
So top up, get a plan, or switch now to win. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
Are you still washing your hands regularly, wearing your mask in public, and practicing social distancing? 0 cases does not mean COVID-free. Stay home if you're not well to keep others from getting sick. Continue to avoid crowds in public spaces. Always keep your guard up. We're still fighting this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Welcome back. The Minister for Health says the collaborative effort of several stakeholders has brought Dominica to the point where the borders can be reopened. Dominica's borders officially reopened to returning nationals and residents on Wednesday, with plans to reopen to visitors on 7th August. The country has been gradually relaxing the COVID-19 restrictions over the last several months.
It was much anticipated. We put a lot of work into it. All the stakeholders have worked tirelessly to get to the stage where we can eventually be opening our borders. That is the medical personnel, that is doctors, nurses, all the frontline workers have been working on the protocols as to how we open our borders. Also, we have to recognize the Ministry of Tourism, DDA, Dominica Hotel and Tourism Association, the Taxi Association. They've all played a part in coming together so we can present the best protocols possible. We also had the customs, we had the fire and ambulance, we had the immigration, and everyone played a part in preparing these protocols as to how do we open our borders in a safe way. Safe for our people here and safe for even the visitors coming as well.
The minister says reopening the borders is uncharted territory, and as a result, the country has had to learn from the mistakes and best practices of other countries. Continued efforts to ensure local products meet regional and international standards. Julian Morris explains.
This was the aim of a label verification exercise conducted by the Bureau of Standards this week. Director of the Bureau, Midian Larocque, says this routine checkup is to ensure local manufacturers meet the standards set by the Bureau, which in turn will ensure the safety of customers.
The reason that we're doing local products today is because most of the imported products do have to go through the Greenland and Asakuda world, so we do have oversight on all products coming in. However, our local manufacturers and local products, we prefer to do a redoubled effort at the supermarket that we can give confidence to the clients that somebody is checking for some of the basic requirements which is needed under the law for labels of products. Some of those requirements include the name, and the name of the product, the name of the establishment, the location of the establishment, expiration date, your ingredients, and so on.
During the label verification, the Bureau also looks at net worth of products to ensure manufacturers package the correct quantity of an item. These verification measures will ensure local products meet regional and international standards.
We really want to work with them and not really penalize them per se. After working with them and helping them to meet the requirements, if not, then per the standards regulation, there is a penalty fee. But we are not about this. We are here to work with our local manufacturers so that our Dominican products not only meet the requirements of international and regional standards and meet conformity assessment, but also to give some kind of credence or credibility to the consumers, the local consumers that are purchasing these products.
Apart from supermarkets in Roseau, stores outside of the city will also be visited, as well as those which sell items from non-English speaking countries.
We'll be moving to the north as well at Portsmouth. We'll also be doing some of the foreign stores, like the French stores that are available, some of the Chinese stores. We have in the past worked with the French and the Chinese to meet the labels. I mean, this is an English-speaking country, so we expect our clients to understand what's on the product. So we'll be working with some of them to meet those requirements, that the labels should be in English, that the clients should be able to understand the ingredients and know what's in there. So this is just part of ongoing efforts to ensure that somebody is checking for the Dominican public, and that is the mandate of the Dominican Bureau of Standards.
And digital skills specialists with the Work Online Dominica initiative is putting to rest any skepticism over this pilot project. The Work Online Dominica initiative is one of government's measures to help create jobs for citizens through the digital economy. Digital skills specialists with Work Online Dominica, Clementine Afana, in allaying the concerns of those skeptical about the program, says anyone can apply for the program once they display a level of commitment.
Essentially, what someone needs really to be a part of this program is dedication, consistency, and willingness to push, because whenever it comes to learning something new or to jump in a new venture, it's something that is scary. And this whole digital economy concept, or even the concept of working online, is new to a lot of people, and that is why we decided to put this program together to show you the pathway and the roadmap to actually follow for you to guarantee or boost your chances of success. Now, when learning something new, it's important for you to be flexible with yourself, but also to be committed to yourself, because it's not going to be easy for the simple fact that it's something that is new. In addition to dedication, consistency, and motivation, you will essentially need to have a computer. If you don't have your own personal computer, then ensure that you have access to a computer for the period of 3 months. In addition to that, you also need to have access to internet connection for a period of 3 months.
Applying for the program, which began earlier this week, takes place online at www.workonlinedominica.org. Training under the 3-month pilot program is scheduled to start in August.
So registration has already started this week. We're going to close off registration on July 25th because we would like to start the program on the first week of August. So it's going to be a 3-month program during which we're going to walk all participants through everything that they need to know from a beginner's perspective, from starting to look for online jobs, identifying the skills that you have, learning new skills that are currently in high demand right now online, pitching to online clients, finding those clients, landing online job interviews, and completing your jobs properly. So we're essentially going to cover everything that a beginner, somebody who doesn't have any experience working online whatsoever, needs to know for them to be able to land their first online job.
The Work Online Dominica initiative is being led by the Ministry of Digital Economy in partnership with Israel Aid and UNDP and is being funded to the tune of $35,000.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Are you still washing your hands regularly, wearing your mask in public, and practicing social distancing? 0 cases does not mean COVID-free. Stay home if you're not well to keep others from getting sick. Continue to avoid crowds in public spaces. Always keep your guard up. We're still fighting this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
With Flow, win a bag of money, cash out, get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From Flow.
Yo, check this. Flow is giving away $30,000 in cash.
Oh, yeah.
2 bags of money plus $1,000 every Friday.
With Flow is better every day, and now we're making parties great. That's 3 ways that you can play. So listen up.
Top up.
$10 or more.
Sign up.
Just switch to Flow.
Get a plan.
1 gig or more. If you wanna win cash galore.
With Flow.
Win a bag of money.
Cash out.
Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From Flow.
So top up, get a plan, or switch now to win. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD, all for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
To end the news, the headlines again. Returning Dominicans to conform to travel protocols at the Douglas Charles and the Canefield airports. Alternative air carriers expected to fill the gap left by Liat. And 500 derelict vehicles targeted in national cleanup campaign. Feel free to access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Andrea Louis. And to all of our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Join us next time.